All right, so are you ready to dive deep into Saudi Arabia's National Day?
Always ready to explore a good national day, especially one with such a story behind it.
Right. You might think it's just another day on the calendar, but trust me, there's more to it. We're talking about how a date, just a date, can become a powerful symbol. It's shaping how a whole nation sees itself, and how the world sees them, too.
It's amazing how much weight a single date can carry, right?
Exactly. And in this case, we're talking about September 23rd, 1932, the day the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was officially born.
Pretty significant birthday.
Yeah, I dug into this article from the Media Line, and it is packed with insights. It's not just fireworks and parades. This is about the foundation of a nation.
Absolutely. And that foundation, well, it didn't just appear in 1932. We need to rewind a bit, don't we? Back to the 1700s.
Way back. Okay, so what was the scene back then?
This is where the pieces of the puzzle start coming together. You've got this scholar, Muhammad ibn Abd al-Wahhab, and his movement, Wahhabism. They were all about going back to a pure form of Islam, at least in their view. But it wasn't just about religious doctrine.
It was about shaping an identity.
Exactly. It really started to define this distinct Saudi identity even before Saudi Arabia really existed.
So like planting a seed that would grow into something much bigger?
Exactly. But a seed needs the right conditions to grow. And that's where the Al Saud family comes in. They play a huge role in this whole story.
Yeah, they're the ones who actually end up ruling, right? But how they get there?
Well, the article talks about this alliance they formed with the Wahhabism movement. It was strategic, giving them religious legitimacy.
So a powerful combination, religion and politics, helping them rise to prominence. But it wasn't all smooth sailing, was it? There were some bumps in the road.
Oh, definitely not. Power struggles, shifting alliances, even exile comes into play. Talk about a roller coaster ride.
Right.
But through it all, they never lost sight of their goal, a unified Arabia under their rule.
Talk about playing the long game.
Hmm.
But then Abdulaziz Al Saud enters the scene, and things really start to move.
Right. He was a brilliant strategist. Military campaigns, political maneuvering. He even used marriages to solidify alliances. He was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers.
He was playing 4D chess. He saw the bigger picture, and by 1932, he brought enough of the Arabian Peninsula under his control to finally make the vision a reality. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is born. Can you imagine being him on that day? Declaring yourself king with the weight of all that history on your shoulders?
Yeah.
No pressure.
It's no wonder September 23rd is such a big deal. It's not just another date. It represents the struggle, the ambition, the desire to create a nation. It's the birth certificate of modern Saudi Arabia.
It's like their Independence Day, but with this added layer of we fought hard for this unity.
Exactly.
And every September 23rd, they get to celebrate that shared history, that sense of being Saudi Arabian, right? It's a powerful reminder of where they came from, but it's more than just looking back.
Oh, absolutely. This is where things get really interesting. They use it to look forward. The article talks about how they connect September 23rd to their Vision 2030 plan.
Vision 2030. That's their big plan for the future. Moving away from oil, modernizing the economy. It's a lot.
It's incredibly ambitious. And they're not shy about using National Day to show off their progress toward these goals. We came together as a nation once, they're saying, and now we're coming together to build the future.
Hitting the refresh button. I like it. Using their past to launch themselves into the future. But speaking of history, there was this whole thing about the anniversary that kind of threw me off.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Well, the article kept mentioning the 94th anniversary, but if we're talking 1932, that was only 92 years ago. Did someone mess up their math?
Not at all. It's the calendar they use. Saudi Arabia uses the Islamic calendar, or Hijri calendar.
Which is different from the Gregorian calendar, so there's a time difference.
Exactly. The Hijri calendar is lunar-based, so it's about 11 days shorter than the Gregorian calendar. That's why it's the 94th anniversary, according to their calendar.
Okay, so that makes sense, but it's still pretty fascinating, don't you think? It adds this whole cultural dimension to their celebration. Like, just understanding when the anniversary is requires you to think about their cultural context.
It shows how deeply connected these cultural practices are with their national celebrations. And it reminds us that there are different ways of marking time, even for things like national holidays.
Which is really cool when you think about it. But I'm curious, the article mentions fireworks and concerts and all that. That's all pretty standard celebration stuff, but there's this other layer of strategy here. It's like they're using this celebration, this moment, to make a statement, right? It's like they're using this global stage to kind of, I don't know, reshape the narrative around Saudi Arabia, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And why not? In a world overflowing with information, you need something big to cut through the noise. What better way than with a huge celebration, especially one that's culturally significant?
Totally. It's not like they're just throwing a party and hoping for the best. This article, it pointed out how they pick specific themes each year for the celebration and how those themes reflect their goals. Like this year's theme, remember what it was?
How could I forget? We dream, we achieve. Seems simple enough, right?
Yeah, but it's actually pretty clever when you think about it. You see that, and you immediately think ambition, progress, a nation on the move. It's subtle, but it works. They're not just looking back at the past. They're showing off their vision for the future.
It's like they're saying, hey, we know what you might have heard, but check this out. Their national day becomes this perfectly placed window into the Saudi Arabia they're working towards. All the investments they're making in renewable energy, in technology, even tourism.
It's like a yearly reminder to the world, we're not just sitting on a bunch of oil, we're building something big here.
Exactly. It's their chance to challenge those old perceptions and take control of the message on a global stage. They're in the driver's seat.
This is really making me think. What started as a deep dive into a national holiday turned into this whole exploration of history and culture and even, a bit of national branding,
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if other countries are doing this with their own national holidays, using them as a platform to signal their ambitions to the rest of the world. Something to ponder.
It really is. Next time I see a national holiday on the calendar, anywhere, I'm going to be thinking, okay, what's the message here? There's always more to the story than meets the eye, right?
Always. Sometimes it's a carefully crafted message in disguise.
It makes you think, and that's what we like to do here on The Deep Dive.